Hello, gentlemen. Coach Tim here with your weekly VIP check in or update. Hope you're doing well. If you're new and you just completed your 6 week round, then welcome to you and congrats on doing that. Um, if you are a social media guy, you can find us on the VIP Men's official Facebook page. And so, hope you will check that out and chime in there. And as I always say, tomorrow is the day we celebrate our wins. So if you've got something that you can celebrate, then let's hear about it. Let's hear about what you can look at in the past week and celebrate. Let somebody know, whether it's a new PR, whether it's just hitting your macros on a regular basis, and if it's something else, well, let us know. Remember that the small steps are the consistent small steps are the things that lead to long-term success. So celebrate those and let people know about it. Don't be hard on yourself. Celebrate the small wins. They're important on a regular basis. Hey, this week I wanted to talk about tracking a little bit. Um, as you know, I'm corporate coach and I work with a lot of the guys who are new and see them kind of get started in those first 6 weeks. And then usually they're pretty good about checking in um, for those first few months. And one of the things that I've noticed is that if there's one thing that people struggle with, it is the tracking. It's usually not that uncommon that people have some sort of an exercise routine. And even if they don't, they begin to build one as they get started in a faster way. But the tracking for most people is the thing that is most challenging. And part of that is learning for some people what's in foods, how to count macros, how to determine what's in something. For some people, it's learning about whole foods altogether. But it is probably the most tedious part of a healthy routine. Now, we all feel like sometimes we don't want to get up in the morning and and do our workouts, or we don't want to do it after the day of work if that's your routine. But pre-planning meals and keeping track of everything you eat is it's hard to feel motivated by that. I mean, with a workout, you know you're accomplishing something in the immediate, and you don't really get that reward of lifting a weight, feeling tired, feeling the burn when you're tracking food. And so what I've found is that most people get started maybe at the beginning and they'll do it for a little bit, and then pretty soon they find out, wow, this is kind of hard. And it's kind of relentless, because if I'm going to do this, it takes some time every day to kind of know, what am I going to eat today, how much am I going to, or how am I going to know where I am on my macro targets, and watch those and get within single digits. Really, we try and get within 5 digits, 5 grams of each macro target, because it's just calories. You're talking about going over or being under too far. And so what I found is that most people let that slide. And here's the thing: you can obviously look at your waistline, or you can look at the scale occasionally and see what your progress is. But you won't really know whether the results are happening because of certain factors in your routine unless you're tracking what you're doing. It's just like tracking your lifting. If you just get hot and sweaty and you don't ever know what weight you're lifting, you don't know if you're improving. Well, it's pretty obvious to track that, because you can see, well, hey, I used to lift this much weight, now I'm lifting this much weight. But when it comes to overall physique and building muscle tissue, and let's say for those of you who are trying to trim some body fat, you can't really know if you're seeing success because of your diet and whether you're hitting enough protein if you're just guessing. So I'm making a pitch here for tracking all the time, for being consistent in that foundational part of this plan or this program, which is eating whole food and tracking what you're eating, so that you know on a regular basis what you're doing, what you're putting in your body, and how much you're putting it in. There's this feeling that, man, I should just be able to eat intuitively. But for most people, unless you have been tracking for years, you're not going to be able to do that, because you simply won't know how far over or how far under you are on certain macros if you're just guessing. So all that to say, I'm just making a pitch to ask that you guys, if you've fallen off the bandwagon, to get back on, to start tracking, to know for certain that what you're putting in your body is what your body needs. And if you don't know where your macros are or what they should be, then you need to get with your coach so that they can set your macros at a level that matches your goals. And all of you should be working towards getting stronger. And that takes a right macro level of protein and calories, to be frank, because if you're in a deficit, you're not going to build muscle tissue. You might maintain, but you're not going to build. And so you're going to need to be in maintenance or even a surplus to build muscle tissue, which is going to fuel your body, burn more calories, and help you lean out. So get with your coach, find out what your macros should be, and then start tracking. Take 10-15 minutes every day to either plan the next day's meals or do it in the morning and plan that day's meals. And then all you have to do is measure your portions. You got this, guys. This is Tim out. Hope you have a great week.